Hello. Easy PayPal is a simple add-on for Concrete 5.7 and newer that allows you to create and put a PayPal button anywhere on your site. There's three different types of payment methods or modes that you can accept: buy now, a subscription, or donation. So let's say we want to add a buy now button. Let's go ahead and get into edit mode here, and then if you want to add a new one, now by the way, in edit mode it disables the button, so it will look something like this. And so let's go ahead and add a new one in. You can find the block underneath other, and then now let's give our item a name here. And now by default it sets it to $10, but you can, of course, you can enter in whatever value you want. Now, depending on your currency, depending on whatever country you're in or currency you're using, make sure you use the correct format for it. So let's say we want to set this to maybe $20, let's say, and we're going to keep this as a buy now option. But if you want to, you can select one of these other options. Now, under subscription, there's 4 different types of those you can have. You can have a daily subscription, weekly, monthly, or yearly. Then, of course, there's a donation. So if you just want to collect, say, maybe $20 for a donation, this is only options you really need for this. It's just you can allow users to leave a note upon checkout or not. That's optional. And then, of course, you'd set your settings and design, which I'll show you in a moment what those do. But let's say we want to have a donation or a buy now button. So the buy now is a payment, as a one-time payment. Same thing with the donation. Now the subscriptions are recurring payments based on however long the period is. So now let's say by the way we do a subscription. Okay, so let's say maybe we want to go 30 days. Every 30 days we want to have this renew. So we set it to 30 days, which, by the way, the highest you can go is 90 days. And that's just a limitation that PayPal has. So you can go 30 days there, or maybe we want to go weekly. Maybe we renew this every 2 weeks or 4 weeks or something, let's say. Or you can go monthly. You can go up to 24 months there. So maybe renew this every 3 months at $20 every 3 months. And then same thing with the yearly option. And you can go up to 5 years there. So that's pretty straightforward on those. And same thing with the donation, pretty straightforward options. But buy now is the more complex one. So we'll show you some of the options here. So our quantity is default quantity is 1, and you can enter whatever you want for that. So let's say we want to have 2 of this that we're selling, and then our flat amount for discounts. These are all optional. You don't have to do anything, enter anything for these if you don't want to. You could just simply use just the 20 your value. Enter prices and the quantity, and that's it. But if you want to add some additional options for it, you can certainly do that. So under flat amount, it would use this value here, or if you use rate, it will use a % discount rate. So let's say we want to say maybe a 5% discount. We just simply enter a value for that in there. Or if we use a flat rate, that will be a specific amount that we enter in. Like say maybe $2 off for for this discount. And under taxes, it's got the same idea. For taxes, you in this case, so a discount basically removes $2 from your value. So Since we have two quantity, what's going to happen is it's actually going to charge $40, and then it's going to discount $2 for that amount. So it'll come out, it should come out to like $38 if we don't add any of these other options. However, we plan on doing that, so let's add tax. Will add a certain value on. So we're going to use the flat amount for these as an example. And then, so let's say for the flat amount for tax, we want to add maybe just simply $1 on for tax. And then our tax rate would be, again, a percent value. You don't have to enter anything in there if you're not using it. So, but in my area it's like 8%. So anyway, so on shipping, you can enter something in for both of these, or just one or the other. So now this applies if you're using if you have a quantity of just one, you wouldn't need to enter anything in for the additional cost. However, and because we have more than because we have an additional items, which is being above one, we would like to have an additional cost for each additional item for shipping. So maybe our base rate of shipping is, let's say, $3, and then for each additional item it should be, let's say, 50 cents for that. So we better make that a specific amount there. And then our other options here is we can allow buyers to specify a quantity. What that does, if we check that, it allows them to enter in their own value upon the checkout. Otherwise, if we don't check that, it does not allow them to change the quantity. And then we can allow them or not allow them to enter in their own custom note upon checkout if they want to do that or not. So now, don't forget, when you're adding this, don't forget to do the settings, and make sure you enter in a value for your PayPal email, because this is where the payment will actually be sent to. And so that's my email for my PayPal, this where the money will be sent to. Now, for checkout target, what that is, that tells the checkout page to either open in a new window or the same window. So if it's set to self, it'll open in the same window. If it's set to blank, it'll open in a different one. And then here's your currency code. We have it set to US dollar by default. And then maybe we want to add a little notation for having a little note open up, a tooltip note open up on the button when someone hovers over it. And you can enter in whatever text you want for that. And then some additional design options. These are all default, so you don't really need to change these if you don't want to. You may want to change, maybe say, excuse me, you might want to change the button label to whatever it is. Like, say if you're using the subscription button, you might want to change the text to say subscribe now or something like that. So maybe since we're using the buy now, we'll just say buy now. And then button style, maybe we want to change, we just want to use the default, which should look like a green rounded button. And then we'll just use PayPal for the regular PayPal checkout page. And by the way, if you set to primary, it will use whichever primary checkout page style that you're using, that you have set on your account. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. If you want to have, like, say, your own logo on the checkout page, I'll show you how to do that momentarily. So we're going to add our button. Let's go ahead and get rid of this old one here. And so now we have just our simple buy now button. So when you mouse over it, as you can see, there's our tooltip note. on there. And again, that's optional. You don't have to add that if you don't want. You leave it blank if you don't want to do that. So now when we select on it, or when we click on the button here, since we had it open in a new window, it's opening here in a new window for us. So here are our options as we set. Our base price was $20. We set our quantity to 2, so we're being charged $40 with a discount of $2, coming out to $38. And then we added a tax of $1 for a flat rate there, so that should bring it to $39. And then our shipping and handling, we said $3 for our base shipping. Then for each additional item, we added 50 cents. So we have $3.50 added to that, coming out to $42.50, which is the correct amount. And then this is our default PayPal checkout page. And again, now here's how to change the page style if you want, and use make sure you use the primary option. So here's how to do that. So let's say we're in our PayPal account here. This is when we first sign in. Now, if you haven't been to PayPal in a while, it's been updated recently, so the design's quite a bit different now. So here's how to go about getting your page custom style. So what you do is you go to Profile and Settings. Looks like I gotta sign in here again. Logged me out. Okay, so what we do, and then underneath My Selling Tools, depending on your view, if it looks like this, you should look under like Tools area in underneath this part of your account, and then look for Custom Payment Pages, and then go to Update, and then you're going to see if you have only this one on here, as you can see, we have PayPal as our primary. So now we want to create a new one, so you would simply add one, and this is where you can set up your own stuff on here. So we'll say then what we would do is enter in a logo URL. Now I have one already uploaded in my file manager. So if you have one, if you're using Concrete, which you should do, you should use the file manager to maybe upload, say, a logo. And let me go. What I want to do is get the URL for that. And I believe I'm using this one here. So we want properties. And then our URL to file. So you're going to copy and paste that in. And you're going to copy that, paste that into here for your logo. And then these other things are optional. You can, if you want to have like your own colors and stuff like that, header URLs and other things like along those lines, you can customize all this other stuff. I'm not going to do that right now. Just showing you how this works. Looks like it doesn't like the name that I use, so I'll just say yeah, sometimes it yells at you here. You gotta be okay, so looks like it's being a little picky here. Okay, so it doesn't want spaces apparently. Yeah, so when you enter the name in there, don't include like spaces. According to this note up here, it tends to be pretty picky about that stuff. Okay, so now we have one here. And then now it's not made primary, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that primary. Since we have that selected, make primary. Okay, so it's asking us to confirm that. Okay, so now that's our primary checkout page. So now I'm going to go back and update that on the button. and that was under design. So now we're going to change that to primary. Okay, and then now I gotta publish this again. Okay, and now when we go to the checkout page, we may have to refresh it, by the way, since we just updated this, and because of, depending on your browser, it may not show up right away. I'm not entirely sure what'll happen here, but should. Okay, and it does. It works. So now we're using our primary, and then there were other options that you could customize too, like the colors and other things that you saw on there. So so this is our primary checkout page with our own logo on here and everything. So so there you have it. It's pretty straightforward stuff, pretty easy to use. If you have any questions or need support, you can always ask us in the forums, and I'll try to get back to you fairly soon if you have any questions, or if you have any ideas for adding new features to this. I'm always open to new ideas.